Formed upon the world of paradise around 1.45 trillion Bevet by Naguzloth the First Emchimarks, the Autrosa Imperia started as a small imperial kingdom within the city of Karat, in the southern region of the Snow Giant. Started with what many believe to be no more than 200 followers. However, as time went on through the years, the Autrosa Imperios had started to pick up into a more global ecological system within the world. The torn world's disorder, anarchy, and chaos. It rose as the first figure of an established government, which those of the High Court and prominent parties had started to construct. It would remain on its path of influence and assimilation of the world's regions. A capital would be named upon the world. That capital was the city of Karat. While cities like Pura, Turam, and Asgurmoth were made into industrial cities, other regions of the world fell under the vastly growing empire, became civilian districts, military installations, and resource harvesting depots. It was only a matter of time before the use of droids did labor start becoming easier. Though a currency did exist, it was only used as a form of trade compared to something as a job. Regardless of this, however, the newly formed imperial nation known as the Autrosa Imperios started to realize a potential within the exploration of their moons, and with the newly developed technology harvested by collecting and mending together parts, they developed their first modes of transportation, the Urak cargo vessels. These were some of the first spacefaring ships created at this time by the Imperoas. This would lead to an expansion into new territories around the Perudos system and further assimilation of far less advanced worlds to reinforce and govern the Patit star system, where Paradise was located. After some years of expansion, the year was 1.3 Bevet. Many of the worlds within the Parit system had adapted and substantially become more developed under the guidance of the Autrosa's influence and impact it had upon military and government systems, in which chaos and anarchy were trampled upon by the growing giant as it pushed onwards and further worlds. Having come from the dead space region of the universe of Parados, those of this Imperium, the Autrosa, sought only the goal of unification under the banner that was displayed amongst their own territories. As time moved forward, the Autrosa continued their expansion through the universe of Parados. War was brewing within the inner rim reaches of the universe, though the Autrosa would be ready for this coming war. The toll which the war had impacted would be too great for the Autrosa to beat. In the darkest hour, when the war had arrived finally to the doorstep, many lives were lost with the conflict. The Autrosa started to become scattered across the universe of Parados. Through these years of the First Universal War, those surviving and scattered continued onwards through with the goals of expansion. However, it would be years before the full Imperium, which was the Autrosa Imperios, would recover from the devastating onslaught which war brought upon them. During the splitting of the Autrosa, many new territories were discovered and explored by the remnants of this once great Imperium. One of these new territories was known as the Paya, a new universe to call home for the new Crown Archmarch, Kion. It would be within this universe that the roots of the newly formed Autrosa Primdu, a sub-sanctum of the original Autrosa Imperios, would start a new reign. During the reign of the Paya, those of the Autrosa Imperios had started to rapidly gain control over the universe after establishing a foothold within the cloning industry. This would provide useful to the needs and desires that the Imperoas had. This advantage would bring them a strong foot in the door, so to speak, whilst they worked their way from the outer rim to the inner rim of the Paya universe, before completely taking over the south, east, and west of the Paya universe. The branches of the Autrosa Imperoas are the following: the High Court, the Imperial Throne, the Imperial Parliament, the Imperial Department of Engineering and Architectural Corps, the Coalitions, the Imperius Ministorum, the Imperial Navy, the Imperial Army, the Imperial Law Enforcement, and the Imperial Civil Service. Important canon characters to take notice of: Discord Drake and Arbiter Constantine. They are both known as the Ancient Ones. Her Eminence Elise Drake is the new Emtramarchs. Her brother Marius Drake is the Autromarch. Ruling Council: Lord Drake Pyrus, the Grand Advisor. Lord Gilsdeborg Warren, the High Voice of Parliament. Lord Carter Price, the Overseer. Garrick's Rune, the Lord Architect. Lord Baron von James, the Legate Supreme General. Lord Patron Cloys, the Pope. Lord Euler Oscara Grons, the Master Prophet. Members of the Prominent Party: Lord Lucam Nollis, Lord Voice of Parliament. Lord Zia Miot, the Voice of Parliament. Lord Petri Seca, the Chamber Voice. Sire Nogel Pat, Minister of War, Prime Chancellor of the Imperial Party. Mistress Kamen Sataki, Mistress of Justice, Prime Chancellor of Domitri's Party. Sire Al Pawe, Minister of Economics, Prime Chancellor of the Sith Party. Sir Padin Peruls, Minister of Ethics, Prime Chancellor of the Amargon Party. Noticeable High Command: Eisen Clark Price, Director of Coalitions and Chairman of the Imperial Directive Research Initiative. Weaponry of the Imperoas is the following: Det Tramax Series Sideshow weapons. First weapon listed is DSRL 334.38 Guillotine. It is a rocket launcher. Second weapon, DS SMG 738 Prayer, small machine gun. DS SMG 9.47 Trench Raider, another machine gun. DS Designated Assault Rifle 38 Viperox. This is commonly used by infantry. DS Designated Marksman Rifle 6.72 Marksman Hammer. This is used by more marksman units. DS Machine Pistol 67.82 Mousetrap. This is used by all members of the Imperium. DSP, aka Pistol 94.20 Clip Dealer. This is only used by naval pilots. DS Designated Ranged Sniper Rifle, Extra Large, 90.20, Longshot Ranger. DS Designated Ranged Sniper Rifle X, 90.20, Badger Ranger. DS Designated Range Sniper Rifle 920 Combat Ranger. DS Designated Shotgun 13.07 Badger. DS Combat Knife, the Tooth. DS Grenade. The following weaponry that soon is going to be listed is Guardsman/Imperial State Security. Starting this list off is the Designated Guardsman Assault Rifle 8.29 Guardian. The designated pistol for Guardsmen is the Guardian Clip Dealer. The designated Imperial State rifle is the 8.29 Guardian, Red Edition. Another gun noticeable in this category is the DSISSG 955 Bullhound shotgun. Spaceships and vehicles of the Imperium. Spaceships: Kurrat battlecruiser, Kurrat assault fighter, Aurak fighter, Aurak scout fighter, Kurrat bomber, Kurrat scout fighter, Aurak cargo vessel, Kurrat cargo vessel. Vehicles/droid vehicles: Police Autrosa Walker, Dexadroid. Military Kobark Walker, Dexadroid. The following to be listed are military/imperial forces. This does include security forces. First up is security forces: Imperial Border Security, Imperial Police Services, Imperial Office of Criminal Investigations, Imperial State Security Service, Imperial State Investigator, Imperial State Security Trooper, Imperial State Shotgunner. Army Forces: Imperial Commando, Imperial Infantry, Imperial Field Trooper, Imperial Stormtrooper, Imperial Shotgunner, Imperial Explosive Ordnance Disposal Specialist, Imperial Sniper, Imperial Juggernaut, Imperial Scout, Imperial Biohazard Containment Agency. Naval Forces: Imperial Navy crew, Imperial Marine, Imperial Pilot. RDI Forces: Storm Hazard Corps. Moving on to Intelligence Forces. The Imperial Initiative for Central Intelligence Services. Inaccessible. Protective services include the Guardsmen. That is all for Imperial Forces. Moving on to Imperial Parliament. Purpose: the Imperial Parliament was established to create order, structure, control, and management over the civilian populations and controlled territories. In addition, create some sense of lawfulness within the universes that the Autrosa reigned over. With managing the security and intelligence forces respectively, the Imperial Parliament was supplied with the power to ensure that prosperity among the Imperium's vast territory was enforced. It was formed to be a formal form of the established legitimate governing body over the territories of Paya, Nui, and Parados systems. Structures: the Lord High Voice is at the top. Moving downwards is the Lord Voice, Voice of Parliament, Chamber Voice, Imperial Party, Demetrius Party, Sephric Party, and Armago Party. The territory of the Autrosa that remains. Parados system: Paradise, Root, Taue. Paya system: Inner Rim, Adrexis Primdu, Luxstrux, Tessabek, New Unbeck, Redu, Prycorp, Parada 3, Terrage. Middle Rim: Pulia 9, Nilorix, Uam, Loria, Indor, Piome, Paroma, Neoteris, Neoper. Outer Rim territories: Pericat, Taparak, Neme, Saketi. Dead Space not available. Nui territories: Inner Rim, Aulendor. Middle Rim not available. Outer Rim not available. Dead Space not available. Universe: this is the humans' territory. None of the following territories are available. This concludes today's log. I hope you enjoyed. Farewell, and I'll see you next time.